Well, hello and happy Beltane from here at Project Earthwork. I am Ceryn. This is the beautiful Yolandi, and we are here to celebrate with you and to share with you in the best way that we know how.
Mm. Oh, yeah, I'm so excited. It feels we've been having an entire conversation about like the energies and what's happening this week, and it feels really important to sit with this energy and really like tune into it and go into our bodies and understand what's happening with this well, I mean, for us in the north it's the fire coming up, in the south it's like going deeper, the ancestors and everything. So it's an interesting time, isn't it?
It is, and isn't it? Something that I hadn't thought of in the whole hour-long conversation we've just had is I find it really interesting that we keep being told at the moment how potent the astrology is, how potent the energy is, how potent. And as we are hearing that at the same time, what we're seeing is absolute chaos. In all corners of the world, we're seeing chaos. And it's really easy to sort of go, oh my God, but how can we focus on this when the chaos is unfolding? What if that's exactly why the chaos is unfolding? And I don't mean there because the planets are making it happen, although, yes, there's a bit of that. I mean, because the world will always say to us at the most potent times, no, 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 don't look at you. Look over here. Look over here. Here's where you need to look. It will always try and pull us away from ourselves and away from power. And what if actually, right now, a lot of the stuff that is happening is absolutely horrendous. Absolutely, we should be looking at it and talking about it and raising funds for it and all of the things. Don't get me wrong. But what if actually what we need to do in order to change that is to hold both the energies of the very grounded chaos and also the energies of the astrology and the energetics.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And I feel like, in our conversation before, it was a lot about like sovereignty, like where am I in this? How am I showing up in the world? Because the world's always going to do what the world's going to do, but how do I choose to actually engage with this? And so a big message personally for me has been about like how do I step into that space where I'm holding the strength in me, I'm holding the light within me, and I'm coming from my deep inner knowing, from my deep inner wisdom, from my own fire within me, so that like whatever my expression is, that is my expression. So the world's happening here and I'm happening here, but I do have an influence on that, right? Like I'm not separate from it, but it starts with me. I'm taking responsibility for how I'm showing up in the chaos, basically.
And I don't think to say that is to say that you must ignore it, you must pretend any of this stuff isn't happening. Not at all. Like, because part of that taking responsibility is in choosing how we react and how we respond. Responsibility is our ability to respond
Yes.
effectively. Like, we get to choose how we respond.
Yeah.
And we also get to realize that our entire life is not a response. And I say this as a generator, our entire life is not and does not have to be a response, right? We also get to, or even if it is, we get to choose what we are responding to in any moment. So if you want to go out there and respond to the chaos for a while every day, cool, do that. But just make sure you're giving yourself some time to respond to the deeper energetics and to the other things that you're being called to as well. Otherwise, life is going to take you on a whirl of chaos, and the part you play in this world is going to be chaos.
Yeah. And I feel like there's because we were speaking a little bit about ebb and flow and all of that. And amidst all of everything that is happening, what is true for you right now? And what is it that you are feeling deep within you that you need to work with, that you need to look at, that you need to bring into the world, right? Because for me at the moment, I'm like oscillating between sitting in the void and then like creating, and then like I keep going in and out, and I'm loving it because it feels really good for me. But I'm very much aware of the fact that like what I am bringing out into the world is part of a deep soul expression that I'm ready to bring out. So are we taking enough time at the moment to sit and go, what is this response that I'm trying to put out, but it is in resonance with my soul as well? Because sometimes we're responding from a wound, or we're responding from a place of fear. But if I'm in deep resonance with what my soul's actually wanting to do, how would that response like actually work in the world? How could that be of benefit to yourself and the people around you, your community, all of that type of stuff. Because there's a different place in yourself that you can respond from versus just reaction, right? Like reactive versus aligned response.
I had a conversation recently with a client where we were talking about like how do you tell the difference between your resonant response and your knee-jerk response.
Mm.
And I think this is a really difficult thing. Like, let me be very clear. There are still days, I have been working on this for years, and there are still days I struggle with it.
Yeah.
There is still a depth of knee-jerk response that is so ingrained in me at this point. I struggle to tell whether it's resonance or knee-jerk. So I'm not saying this as somebody who's got it all figured out, because I think that it is something that in every moment, and the more familiar we get with each level of it, the more that, perhaps the less we have to ask it. And still, we need to keep checking in with, is my response to this a knee jerk or is it in resonance? Because those two things will lead you in very different directions. One of them will lead you towards sovereignty. One of them will not, not in any way, shape, or form. And we need to ask ourselves that, like, what is the frequency of your resonance effectively?
Yeah.
How do you know it when it comes up for you?
Yeah. And so like when I think about this Beltane like portal that we're in, we were speaking about like Venus and Aries and all of that. So when I really like feel into it in my body, I'm like, okay, so what is it that wants to come out? Because there's this like parts of myself that needs to be recognized. There's like power, sovereignty, like freedom, all of those words keep coming up for me, right? So I'm like, so that's the stuff that I'm really taking the energy in and going, okay, how does this feel? Like, where's the conditioning? Where's the like the shoulds and all the bullshit
Yeah,
that we like keep doing, right? Like, so really, I feel like this time is like, it's almost like there's a big spotlight on what is real for you or what is the bullshit that you're living, right?
absolutely. And I think I think that idea of Venus in Aries is a really fascinating one. And we were talking about this a lot earlier, that we're told Venus is this planet of beauty and of gentleness and of sexiness and of all of the feminine qualities. We're told Aries is the warrior. Aries is Mars energy, is fiery, it is go out there and kick some ass. And the world that we have been taught, the world that we have been brought up in, the world that we have been groomed to think is reality, the lenses that we are seeing everything through, tells us that those two things are distinctly different, that they are completely oppositional. They're not. They're not. My wonderful friend Gazem, who is an astrologer, always says, you have to remember you have the whole of the sky within you. Like, your chart is not just, I am an Aquarius sun, I am a Libra rising, I am a Scorpio moon. It's not. You have the whole of the sky within you. And actually, every single one of us has Venus and her energy, has Aries and its energy within us. They may have different expressions within each of us, but every one of us carries those energies and so many more besides. So what does it mean when we actually I keep seeing it as a sound mixing desk in a studio. Like, what does it mean when we tweak the energies and go, actually, I'm going to have both Venus and Aries turned right up?
Yeah.
Not, oh, Venus has to be here, Aries. No, I'm going to have them both turned up because I can, and that all exists in me. What do I find?
Yes. And if we're responding to the energies around us of those two being amplified at the moment, right? So that, because like the divine feminine in me, like, what is she wanting? How does she want to show up? How is she going, like, screw the way that things are, and I want to like actually be like this? And because that's a line for me. Like, for me, like, I keep coming back to what's good for me. It's not about like at the moment what's good for everyone else. It's about what's good for Yolandi, right? So like, if I'm in that energy, like, how am I going to express myself when I'm like amping it up and going, yeah, this is my feminine coming like right out and going, yes, this is what I want, this is what I feel is true for me. What would that look like, right? Like, it's really beautiful for me.
And what do all of those things look like? Beauty does not have to be rainbows and bunny rabbits.
Yes.
Like, we all get to decide what beauty is. We all get to decide what is sexy. We all get to decide what is, all of those things. We all get to decide what we're going to war for and how.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those expressions of all of those things, we get to decide what they are for us. And this is a time when, there is so much right now that we are being asked to redecide and redefine for ourselves. But as we talk about Venus and Aries, they are two very clear things, or that is a very clear thing. What are you going to decide that your Venusian qualities actually are? What do they mean for you?
Yeah.
Because nobody has to tell us. We had a whole conversation at the start of our Zoom that we're having today, where we talked about this idea of princesses and queens. And actually this idea of we've been given this idea that for a woman to live in a castle, she has to be in a pretty dress and sit on a throne and be sort of submissive to this king who's obviously the most important one, and she just sits inside, and there might be battles that wage outside the walls, and she goes, oh no, I might be in danger, oh, until somebody comes along and saves her. Why? Like, let us not forget that actually there were some very kick-ass queens out there. Let us not forget that women picked up swords and fought. Let us not forget that, women were the ones who were at the forefront of the negotiation. Now, that's not to say men can't be. They absolutely can be. It is to say that there is we do have gender neutral terms, but we don't use them. It's not about kings and queens and which one is more important. It's about sovereignty.
Yes.
It's not about, which one can hold the sword. We all can in our own way, in whichever way we want to.
And I feel like it's almost like like I'm looking at the stars and the planets and I'm going, what if they're giving us a permission slip right now to rewrite the rules of what we've been taught? Like, I can literally, because I was saying to Karen as we were having that discussion about my husband and my son going, look, mom, there's a girl castle. And I was like, no, look, I don't want a girl castle. I want a boy castle. I want to have like girl knights, like female knights. And I want like horses and dragons and all that. So I don't want that for myself. But now, because of how we've been conditioned and our society said Yolandi has to pitch up in a king fairy tale castle, I want like a big ass one with moats and like cannons and all sorts of stuff, right? And I'm just like, so can I step out of what I believe the rules are for me and start defining what it is that I want? Because the first step to becoming sovereign, to stepping back into your power, is going, these rules that you have given me is bullshit and I do not want this anymore. So my castle will never be a fairy tale castle. I don't want that for myself, right? So you actually have all of the energies backing you to say, rewrite the fucking rules.
I'm laughing because I am remembering. So when I was about 4 years old, we had a really big family holiday. It's a whole thing that my parents managed to get me to Florida when I was about 4 to go to Disney World, right? Big deal. And I vividly remember standing in front of this great big castle and being like, oh my God, it's the castle. Oh my God. And I remember walking or thinking I was walking into the castle. You walk up this path, you've got the gardens on either side, you've got the castle in front of you, and getting there and realizing it was just a bit of a facade. And actually, when you get through the doorway, there's a restaurant in there. There at that time, I don't know if it still is. At that time, there was a gift shop in there. When you get through it, you've got all sorts of other things, but it was just a facade. Now, for lots of kids, they probably walked in there and were like, "Oh my God, a castle!" Let me be very clear. I come from the part of Britain that has more castles than any other county in England, right? So I am used to just driving along the road and being like, "Oh, castle! Oh, another castle." And these are castles that you can walk in and you can walk around and you can see the battlements and the windows and the dungeons and the throne rooms and the ballrooms and all of the things. And I remember standing and just being like, I mean, what a little shit. Standing and being like, this isn't a castle. This is just, there's no power to this castle. There is just, I vividly remember being like, this is nothing. And that's almost when we are given fairy tale castles and like, you can be the princess of this castle, or indeed you can be the knight that defends this castle. We're not being given a Bamborough castle. We're being given a Cinderella's castle. Yeah. Now, I don't know about you, but actually the castle where my power lives is more of a Bamborough castle. And for those of you who don't know Bamborough Castle, please go and look at it. It's my favorite castle. It's really cool. It is a rooted power. It is a power that deserves to be defended, that deserves to be held, that deserves to have its own seat on a rock, overlooking the ocean and all of the things. And we need to start remembering that. We need to start digging past what we've been told we can have and digging through to what we actually do have.
Sure. Oh, man. And that's the thing, right? Because the limitations that we've been given by construct society, all of that type of stuff is what we live in, because we don't think there's more for us. But if we actually go inside and go, well, what is it that I actually really want? How do I want my fucking castle to look? How do I want my expression to be out in this world? Like, what is available to us? And so maybe, you know, if we really think about this, like this beautiful, like, energetic portal that we've been given this month is like, what if you just sat in it and went, like, I can have whatever the fuck I want. Like, I can literally create a world because you are a creator, creatrix. Like, you know, you can do this for yourself.
And you know, something else we spoke about before, to kind of stick with that and take it in a slightly different direction. I am personally finding myself getting really angry at the moment with the idea of turning our nose up at fairy tales the way we do, and at happy endings and all of that stuff, and being told that it's ridiculous. Why? Like, I believe that actually the fairy tales are hold wisdom. We've kind of forgotten about the meaning of them. They've been told through the lenses of patriarchy, as every bloody thing has, and so consequently a lot of the wisdom has been hidden. But I believe that they have a lot of wisdom in them. But more than that, I don't see why we are told that they're ridiculous. Now, I'm not suggesting here that any of us are going to put on a pretty dress and a pair of glass slippers and go off to a ball and marry a handsome prince, right? That's not what I'm suggesting. Unless you want to. If you would like to do that, please crack on and invite us to the wedding, because I better be really cool. But I'm not suggesting that's what we have to do. But what I am saying is that there is a place where we're stepping into our own queendom, we're stepping into our own kingdom, where getting familiar with the creatures that live in the woods and being comfortable with that, where all of those things are not ridiculous. They're not silly. They're not things that children do. They're actually truth. There is a point where happy ever after doesn't mean that you'll never have another bad day in your life. It means that you're in flow with everything, including with that sense of your own sovereignty, with your own power, because actually that's where it comes from.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really tired of us taking so much literally that it can then be diminished, instead of being able to step back and look at the energetics of it.
Yeah, the deeper meaning. And I think, you know, that that's been lost on so many levels of life, hasn't it? Like, it's just like we just don't look further to what we see on the reel or the TikTok or the whatever, right? Like, it's just like, when I sit with the trees, when I sit in the forest, when I go into the water, like, what is there? There's so much wisdom around us and everything, in the fairy tales, in the forest, and all of it, right? But we keep scratching the surface. And part of this going back into sovereignty is going deeper. And so with your stories, for instance, like, what's the deeper meaning of it all?
And what's the deeper meaning of everything, right? We have these a friend of mine used to say, we have these handheld pieces of miracle that we carry around with us everywhere we go, all the time. And yet we stop to think about, actually, if that's over there somewhere and I'm not looking at it, I'm not thinking about it, what do I find instead when I just root into the moment? When I root into the, whatever is going on, when I'm not sitting there doing it for a TikTok aesthetic, or I'm not sitting there doing I think we spoke before about this idea that, for example, hashtag rewilding. We have come to this place where we seem to believe that the goal of rewilding is walking barefoot in the woods and howling at the moon. That's not the goal, it's part of the process. Agatha's about to bark, sorry. Ironically, the goal of it is coming to that point where we feel that we are at one with nature.
Yeah.
Not because we're forcing ourselves to be, not because we're doing something that looks really pretty on a photo, but because we genuinely feel that sense of oneness with nature as we do.
Exactly. Oh, I love that. So today, as usual, we are walking into this portal, like, yeah, waiting to see what falls into our laps today. Oh, like, and we're going to Glastonbury, so I just want to, before we go into the portal and we forget about it, because Charlie would be shouting at us right now if she was here. It's like, we are going to Glastonbury. We have exactly 4 tickets left, right? So, like, get on board, get in there with us, and we would love for you to be there. And it's going to be pure magic. It's in July. Like, there's not much time left, so please book your tickets today if you're coming. We are so excited. We're almost sold out, and like, yeah, it's all happening.
We can't quite wait, because July, so it's the weekend before Mary Magdalene's feast day. We've got 2 full days where we'll be in Glastonbury. The first day we'll be learning and diving with all of the upper realms, the middle realms, the lower realms. We say this all the time, but it's not very often that all three of us are in the same room together, like ever. And it's certainly not very often that all three of us are in the same room together, sharing our different bits. And I think that that's something that's really exciting. We're each sharing a part of this. Now, maybe you'll resonate with one of us. Maybe you'll resonate with all of us. Maybe all of our three different beams of magic will do is light up something else of your own beam of magic that is nothing to do with anything we're saying, but there's just something about it that will flicker. Either way, whatever happens, it's going to be amazing. And then on the Sunday, we're going out into the land. We've got private time in Chalicewell Gardens, which is just, if you have been, you'll know how sacred it is and how beautiful it feels. And then we're going to be going out to some of the sort of land in Glastonbury, some of the sacred sites within Glastonbury, and just working with the land, standing in ritual with the land and with one another. And I can't wait. And as Yolandi says, there are four, as we record this, there are 4 places left. That is it. And at this point last year, let me be very clear, Lagatha's really excited. She's jumping up too. At this point last year, when we were this far out, I don't think we'd maybe sold 1 place this far out. So we fully expect that these 4 places will go quickly. So if you do want to come with us, please don't wait until the last minute and be like, I'll be fine, because I don't think you're going to be able to. Please act quickly. There are payment plans if you're worried about paying the full amount up front, but act quickly if you'd like to join us, because we'd love to see you there.
Yeah, we'd love that. Yeah, we literally have like the 3 month payment plan is coming to an end very soon in the next few days. So get in there if you still want to get it, because it's a really good deal at that. Yeah, so we'd love for you to come. Okay, so let's go to where we need to go.
Oh, okay. Oh, let's see where we go. So as always, we're just going to lead you in something of an activation and a channeling, and we will see where we go. I will say with this one, as you can see, Lagatha is behind me, so I really hope she's going to stay quiet and asleep like this while I'm channeling. But if you'd like to join me while we just open the space up, let's all just start by closing our eyes and allowing ourselves to take a breath. And this comes back to what we were speaking about before, that need to just take a breath. To remember that the world will always have somewhere else to draw our minds, our eyes, our hearts. But sometimes the most potent thing we can do for any of it is just to take a breath. And so as you breathe, let your attention come all the way into this moment, into this space, into your body, and into this energetic portal. Knowing that whenever and wherever you are as you listen to this, you will be pulled right into this energetic portal to connect in here with these beautiful energies of Venus and Aries, of the upcoming Beltane, of the recent Taurus new moon. So right now, just let your attention come on your breath as you breathe in and out, and allow yourself to come into this space. And as we breathe, I'm going to start by calling in that circle around us, calling it in across time and space, so that whenever you are listening to this, wherever you are listening to this, you know that you are entirely held by this beautiful energy, entirely held in this beautiful space. And so I call out to the east and to the air, to inspiration, to intuition, and to wisdom, to cool, calm logic, and to stirring power of thought and imagination, to the gentle breezes and the great big gales, to the birds, to the butterflies, to the power of our breath and its ability both to anchor us into the moment and to carry us through into the next, and the next, and the next. To the east and to air, I invite them to join with us, to work with us, and to bless this time, this space, and this work we do together. Welcome. Then turning to the south and calling out to the south and the fire, to creativity, to passion, and to action, to illumination, to radiance, and to warmth. Calling out to the gentle candle flames that light the way for us in the dark, to the great big bonfires that are our gathering place, our singing place, and our dancing place, to the ritual fires and to the wildfires. Calling out to the dragons and to the volcanoes, to the salamanders and to the sun itself that is the life force of everything on this planet and beyond. To the south and to fire, inviting them to join with us, to work with us, and to bless this time, this space, and this work we do together. Welcome. Then turning to the west, calling out to the west and to the water, to the ebb and the flow of the tides, to the cleansing and the nourishment of the rains, to the emotion and the release of our tears, to the depths and the reflections of the lakes, and to the deep wisdom that is held in the water, in every facet of this water, which has moved through every part of this planet and will continue to be with us throughout the whole of her life. To the whales and the dolphins, the fish, the merfolk, that are the keepers of the wisdom that is held in the waterways. To the west and the water, we invite them to join with us, to work with us, to bless this time, this space, and this work we do together. Welcome. And then turning to the north and calling out to the north and to the earth, to groundedness, to surety, to steadfastness, to nourishment, to abundance, to rootedness, to the trees and the plants, to the animals, to the mountains, the rocks, and the caves. Calling out to that deep wisdom of the rooted trees, which roots so far into our planet and stands so tall up to the sky, and through every bit of it hold themselves and hold us, hold and create life. To the north and to the earth, I invite them to join with us, to work with us, to bless this time, this space, and this work we do together. Welcome. And as I draw that circle around us across time and space, by east, by south, by west, by north, and back to east, calling in a circle of protection for all of us, a circle of connection and of wisdom, a circle into which those truest and most resonant versions of ourselves may be allowed to step in, step forward, step up. Into that circle, I call it the center, to soul, to spirit, to space, and to ether, to our guides and our helpers, our teachers and our inspirers, our ancestors of blood, of soul, of stars, of heart, and of lineage. I call to the love and the guidance of spirit, to the wisdom and the power of soul, to the vast, limitless potential of space, and to the great mysteries of ether. And to us, to every facet of us who exists across, through, within, and beyond all of those things. To the center, to soul, to space, to spirit, and to ether, I invite them all to join with us, to work with us, and to bless this time, this space, and this work we do together. Welcome. I imagine right now, wherever you are, I invite you to just feel yourself being held as we are by the earth. And let that holding, the way that the surface that you're resting on holds your body, the way that the floor beneath you holds that surface, the way that the land beneath you holds that floor, the way that the earth herself holds this piece of land, just let yourself drop into it all. Let yourself drop into it all until it feels like earth herself is just cocooning you. That all of your roots as they stretch out into the earth are just held by her. Always held by the earth. And let yourself know in this moment that you, through she, are connected to the stars, to the cosmos. Feel the way the sun itself and the great central sun beyond it beams its radiance upon your face. Feel the way the stars twinkle in every direction, flickering out through that velvet blackness to remind you of the depth of your perception, the depth of your knowing, the depth of your wisdom. And feel the way throughout it all that you are held, so that in everything that we are doing in this moment, in this transmission, you are held by the earth, by the stars, by the cosmos, by the great central sun, and by your own being. And as you sit in this place, knowing that you are entirely rooted and entirely anchored, I invite you just to listen as I open up and welcome whoever wishes to speak to us to step in and speak through me now. Behold, the new dawn, of which you have spoken for many an age, is now upon you, is now weaving together as we speak. Do you see the way that chaos unfolds in some quarters as the pieces of a new beginning magnetize themselves together? As they move together, other things will be broken in their path. We see it. We know that this is deep pain to witness, to live through. We wish with every part of our own selves, with everything that we bring in through the ancient scrolls and the ancient wisdoms, that we could ease this time of transmission for you. In truth, there is only one way to ease this time of transmission, and that is simply to allow yourself to recall all that you, in your own being, came here to be, to do, to live, and to experience. When you do this, you will find that there is a way to dodge and to move through those flying pieces of debris. You will find that there is a way to keep your hands upon what is and was always meant to be yours, while also allowing the others to slip through your fingers much more easily, that they do not burden you, they do not weigh you down. This is a time when the great decrees, signed by so many of the great beings of the very first dawnings of the whole of reality, came together to agree the future. There was an agreement of what would unfold, and for much of the time that we have watched, for much of the time that we have witnessed in recent millennia, we have seen the way that the earth itself has come to move away from that decree. This is no fault of your own. There are forces much bigger at play who have been pulling, manipulating, twisting, and forcing. But now, as we move through the current period of the transition, the current period in which we step into the new age for which so many have been calling for so long, we see when the time comes that the decree is becoming truth. We see when the time comes that there is a possibility to move towards what is desired, what was always promised, and what was initially agreed. This will require a peeling back. It will require a great shifting for each and every one. It will require a pulling away the old and an allowing the new to grow, though it may be raw, though it may at times feel painful. Trust in yourselves, please. Trust in the healing ability of your own being, of your own soul. Trust, as you do, in the healing ability of your planet. Notice that your planet is one which has been deeply damaged, deeply scarred and wounded in the past, and yet she has always returned. Yet, no matter how much damage has been done unto any part of her, largely, it must be said, by humankind, after a period of recovery, after a period of healing, the earth herself has always replenished and returned. Of course, the earth's life is much greater than your own, and so sometimes these periods are inexplicably long to the short human mindset. Your own periods of healing need not be so long. Your own periods of recovery need not be so barren. And yet, as you move through them, as you work through them, you will see that on the other side, there is a returning. Now is the time of your returning. Feel it glow within you, the spark of what is waiting to be birthed. Feel it also pull within you, the coolness of what is waiting for you to retreat. Know that no task upon this earth was ever intended to be one or another. It was always intended to be both. Know that as the earth herself holds the coming summer in one place, she also holds the coming winter in another. You may do the same within your own being. You must do the same within your own self. For only in doing this will you begin to see the path forward. But only in doing this will you be able to walk the path forward. A walk which will require as much rest as action. A walk which will require you to be true unto your own needs, to hearken to them, and to act upon them. We stand before you at this time as the emissaries of a group that met long, long ago. You have spoken in this space before to the councils that grew from that place, from that time, from that moment, from that agreement. But we are the only surviving members of that old meeting. We are the ones who have carried forward this decree and hoped with every part of our being that soon enough we would see it come to pass. If you hear my voice at this time, it means that you are of the group that are allowing this to come to pass, the group that are indeed working to make it possible for this to come to pass. Do not misunderstand how grateful the entire universe is for that action. Do not misunderstand how much the entirety of consciousness is waiting to flow to you and thank you, to flow with you and show our gratitude and appreciation for you. But you must move into the place of flow with this decree. You must move into the place of flow with your own spark of a soul, which was present for this original dawning, which was present for the signing of this original decree. For these are the seeds that will grow the new dawn. The sparks are the beginnings of what is to be grown and what is to be built from it. Do not fear that you are alone and in darkness. We are with you, and your own light will always illuminate the path. Return, though, to the candle flame within you. Know that it, more than any other part of your being, will illuminate the path forward. And now, with my words, allow me to step back and allow another to activate the energies within you. Thank you and farewell.
So just take a deep breath in. Hianna horoko hahiaka. Eloshe varasiane sokorua shenda sekua tala embake. Ndoroto iki la iwatana ikirema inyo tototo atarahi. Isua serasi kionu atataraya mase. Io toro kuasa kikenda ke. Iandoro atahia koloshono sukuatra hia kanda keke lashe. Esena kekenda kuata. And as you observed Motuanata Iakana Ileshana se, the intentions maturuata iande of those matuata tanahi kereshen who came together mutuana tarahiake who decreed mataratahia konuatarahiake ishona se as you observed mutuana tatahia kunda kekera shahe the stream malele shono so kuruata tanahiake of codes mutuana traia la shendata that is ready mutwana tahiake and flowing mutwana trahiake rashana sekutwana ta back to mana iki this planet mahia kuraswasa hiake and those of you mutwana trahiake ratahi ready to mutwana tatahiake understand Indirahiake intercept ngorokakiake and activate matarahian dosuata tahiake this deep knowing mutwana trahiake asia understand alakitarania that these codes mutwandara iakera shunda sahiake that is shifting alatarana tahiake rasha the complacency mutwana trahiake rashanda seke that is shifting matala ian tahia kuratatana the fear mutwana tarahiake that has held so many of you mutwana tratahiake in unseen chains, mutwana trahiakala shekuruswasahiake. As we allow mutwandra tahiake, these energies mutarana tahi, to return dutuana tatahiake and to light and activate nutua tatahiake, the deepest understanding within you. And dutuala iake tarahiake, the dualities maturunua tatahiake that needs to be seen right now. And dutuala inda kerahiake. Ishona sahiake rasanaha kerakiake. As we start to weave mutwana tarahiake la shenda sahiake back into nutwara tatahiake, this ancient understanding anduata la hinda hia kurototua la I ishana sekiate of the structures that are being created now mutwara tanahia kindala hiake usuasake indahiake. So allow yourself to drop into andatahiake, into the belly right now, into the depth of you. Andutuata tana tahiake rashanda sekiake arasianda tahiake into this beautiful grail mutuana tarahiake la shana sekuruata in tahiake la shana sekiake where we are stirring up taratana tahiaka la shanda sekurata tana tahiake this vortex mutwanda tahi la iandera ukurua tatatana of light within you and dutwala hiake as we pull on the energies from this great planet gurunua tatahiake and we ask that to infuse mutwana trahiake la shana sekurata into the depth of our being mutwana tatahiake from the center of the planet and durua ta indariake ra lehiande tahiake ra shanasa Isana hiakara ita hiake as we weave together these energies now. Angulo otra neakera shenda siakera shena. These beautiful cosmic codes, mutwata tanata hiakera shandata, and the planet that has been waiting, matara iandututuatara hiake. And you, atara iana sikiateta hiake, as the beautiful vessels, mukuara tatahia, as the conduits, matara inda kiake la kiake, for bringing these beautiful energies back again. Anduatra inda kirakia la shana sakiake asinda hiake as we allow durutuana tata hiake this energy to move beyond the fears, muanda hiake rashianda hiako beyond the pain. Anguala iake rashenda sia sera sia sen so you can feel yourself nutuatra tia tatatana hiake in that space and the tagio kurata of the deepest love, uatana era sio sunduata tahiake, amaleke era shunda se, arata ku atala enda ke kua shenaseki, hala etarania tata inda, hera ma ekuata iala 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 ia yanda yokurata. Ishona ia meke. O aia kera senda sia seta hia ke ia lala era tanata. Anda yoko. and what is being created within you. Mutwana traia kala shana sia sera hia kera shanda etutua tarahia ke, knowing andala hia ke that your soul mutwanda tarahia kera shunda saki have been watching this process unfolding for so long. Guara sia kera tanahia ke. You beautiful human mutwala tahia ke, allow yourself into Urutuanata, the deepest surrender now. Angara kia kela sha, the deepest knowing. Arakerata hiokula hiande, that darahia ke, allowing yourself to rise up. Parapata kere kia kenda tatahia ke, arasendala sia ke, andutuatrata hia ke, rashana sekia ka, alamata inda kia ke. Ora ta ila shema sekura hiake, hayanda tata hiako, for the voice to get louder, for the guidance matuanda tata hiake, to move you into the next expression matuanda tata hiake, of the piece maturuata kia, of the puzzle that you carry matuara tata hiake, for this global degree ma iokunda kwara kia kera shenda siake, as we build together matara inda iakera shanda sekia kula tatana. Ashinda sekura wahata lehia kera jandara ke ambata hionda, to restore these ancient templates mutuana tra inda kera kuaka ke lasha of beautiful harmony maturunwatra ia kera shanda sekura wata inda ia ke elasha sekira manda ta hioko ishona sekia ke. And as you can see how every single one of us, every single soul mutwana trahiake ula ia torotuatana tahiake plays a part, and dutuatrahi amate kusha iake, how we are vital mutuata, our love, and dutua iake, and our devotion matrahiake, how it can be part of this experience, and duatalahiake. You are free to create, you are free to flow within the structure matrahiake of divine light and darkness together. Uduanda ta ila ia kera ia matata of cosmos and earth. Anduara ia kala shenda siake. You are the expression. Matuna tua e kura e kianda tatahiaku. Ampara e solo e sundake. Ishona sekuatata e. Patarahi. And as we ground this down, patatahiako, this energy right into your body now, into every single cell of your being, this knowing maturuatanatatahiaka hiaten oroto hiamake, of your connection to this bigger picture. Matuanatra ile shanda siaseta ia wanda taka ikia hashenya mate kuruata kindeke. Patetuanata. Nituruate kia te tanata he shanamaseko. Apatra I shena iku awanda era mate kutuata. So just take a deep breath in right now. And that I hiki kiki ekena ikira di yamatre kutuanata ila shana se aha kerana iakutana. Beautiful haratake na hiake. And just feeling yourself really connected down into Mother Gaia. Just feel your energy really grounded on this planet, understanding and that Dahiake, even though we are so beautifully connected to the cosmos, we are here, we are grounded, and we are living from this body, this expression, and all that we are. Matarahiangesha hiako. Okay, Sandahi Andahiaka. So I want you to just come back into your body very slowly, start moving your fingers and your toes. As we thank these beautiful energies that came to play with us today, that has given us this information, and allowed us to move these frequencies back into our bodies, back into unlocking what we're needing to remember at this time. Gurunuata ilishinda sekurua kekenda keke. Andatahi lashanasa. So much gratitude. Angurukwa iale patrainda iokurashe. So as I close the circle now, miturane okurawa ekala enda siase imiakura ia tetana ioko. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so slowly, slowly just bring yourself back into the room, back into your body, back into the space.
All the way in now.
Okay.
Thank you for that. So I'm going to say, before we wrap up, if your body is buzzing like mine is at this point in time, and you would like to, forgive me a little sales plug, and you would like to see how that feels when there's three of us instead of just two, when we're doing it in person and out on the land, 4 places left at Glastonbury, guys. 4 places left at Glastonbury. So come and join us, because honestly, what we have experienced in these sessions has been huge, and I've always experienced huge things through Yolandi's meditations and activations. And um, in person on the land. So if you'll permit me, while we're all still in that little woozy space, I'm just going to mention it again. Check it out on our website, because it would be lush to see you there.
Mm. Thank you so much for that beautiful channeling vibe. That was absolutely amazing. I'm so, I just feel so blessed to be able to like get this information, right? Like it just feels so right. Like all of this stuff dropping in right now, and I'm just, it's fucking time. Like it's so good. It's like we need to start like living from here out now, right? Like these things are being unlocked in us so that we can do what we need to do. This is not random. None of this is.
None of it, and none of it in any of us. This is it. Like there was this sense when the channeling was coming through. There was this sense of really, if you've ever looked at a business plan, bear with me here, and you look at the front few pages of it, you're like, yeah, this is cool. This looks good. And then when you get into the nuts and bolts of it, it's real detail and it's free. And if you get into the nuts and bolts of the plan that is unfolding right now, it's like every one of us is named in there. And every one of us is called out in there for exactly who we are and exactly what we're doing, what we're here to do.
Yes.
And that's not necessarily a job. Like, let's be really clear, for some people, that will be something they do for a job. For others, it will be the way they smile at people when they walk down the street,
Yes.
or the way they sit down and refuse to be moved in a protest. Like, we are all named in there. We are all highlighted in there for exactly who we are. And
Yes.
let's stop trying to pretend that we need to be anything else.
Yes. Because it was like I could see like they kept like showing me this like grid, and I was like like I could feel it, and I'm like bing 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 bing, like everyone matters. Like there's no soul on this planet that isn't part of this massive plan, right? Like all of us, like we are. And like it isn't, it's literally like the fact that you are there and you are who you are, and the codes that you carry within you, that is perfect. Like that in the plan in itself, when you acknowledge I am who I am, that is the thing that acts like activates this whole plan, right? Like that's it. Like you don't even need to go stand on top of a building screaming about shit. The fact that you acknowledge you as part of a bigger picture, that's the fucking key, right?
100. And wasn't that the original? That was the thing that led us to set up Project Earthwork, right? Was this idea of those little lights turning on all over the world.
Yeah.
Imagine if every single one of us is our own little light. Then you can put one tiny little candle somewhere and it makes a bit light. You put 1,000 little candles somewhere and it's really bright. You put 7 billion little candles somewhere. All right, we'll say 6.5, because there's a few people who totally won't turn the lights on. That's fine. They can do their thing. Because actually, we're going to make enough light for them that it shows the pathway all the way through what we're going through right now, all the way into this new age and beyond.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Oh man. Oh, okay. Awesome. So thank you so much for being with us. Yeah, like we'll be back in June sometime, definitely. And yeah, thank you so much for joining us. If you know anyone who would benefit from the work of Project Earthwork, please do tell your friends about us. Please do share our meditations. We love for as many people as possible to just like, get hold of the energy that we're working with and the love that we're here to share on the planet. So yeah, please just share, like, subscribe, love, all the good stuff.
And please do take care of yourself after this, because as always, that was a biggie. My entire body is buzzing. So if you feel the same, remember, rest, hydrate, do what you need to do. And yeah, we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Perfect.